Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. I hope all of you are doing pretty well, and I'm back here with another exciting stuff, and this time we are going to talk about VBA loops, Excel VBA loops to be very specific, and we're going to combine that with the advanced filter. Now this is a more of a like a real case study which I received from one of my subscribers, Naveen, and so I'm going to upload it as usual. You know that a lot of you keep on emailing me, so any fantastic subject which I think can bring more knowledge to you, and it can help you in your day-to-day work routine, I go and upload the videos. Now if you're watching the channel for the first time, we have got 460 videos on Excel VBA, Access and Access VBA, guys, right? And this is my channel, youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar, just in case if you want to make other people aware who of this channel, and who are looking for the Excel in-depth knowledge or the VBA knowledge, or the Access and the Access VBA. So basically we are covering 4 subjects here, right? Now before I actually go and show you the email, before we talk what Naveen has to say, I just want to take 1 minute and I want to tell you that this is the playlist, because I also receive many calls from you in the comment section. Also on the YouTube you write that you are looking, you need the pattern of the videos. So basically when you go to these different playlists, okay, these playlists have the different number of the videos, 4 videos, 10 videos, 15 videos, and go by that the sequence which is there, right? So pause the video, guys, and note it down, and this is how you can learn, right? Now how it actually looks, I think that is also something we should discuss. So when you go on my page, this is where you get to click. When you click on the playlist, that's how you get to see here 45 different playlists, and they are all divided into 4 sections: Excel VBA, Access and Access VBA, right? So these are all the videos. If you scroll it down, you can see that every playlist has a different number of videos, right? So you'll get all the videos here, right? And so that's it. I think that's enough, and you can start your learning from here. And if you're looking for any personal online course, let me know about it. You can email me. Now this is a question I'm gonna take it up from Naveen. So Naveen has written me this email on 23rd of July actually. So he said, "Hi Ajay, thanks for videos on YouTube regarding VBA and Advanced Excel." By the way, Naveen, we not only have the videos on Excel and the Excel VBA, but also the Access and the Access VBA, right? I hope you're aware of it. So this is what he has to say here: "I'm having an issue with finding a value in multiple sheets. I have written a code to find the value with only one sheet. However, my current scenario is having the data in the 2 sheets. If I'm not able to find the value in the first sheet, then I have to go for the second sheet and do search and so on. Please help me with the situation. I'm attaching the spreadsheet for easy understanding. I have to find unique order ID from web sheet to available sheets and copy and paste the entire row to the new sheet." So this is the sort of the data, the print preview, the preview actually has given, and this is the file. I'm just going to open it, which I received from him. Okay, so in this file, guys, you can see that we have a web named sheet which he's referring to, and we have another sheet which is called the week details, and here I have got a couple of emails. Let me just unhide it. So there we have around, I think, a very less number of rows, 18, but that doesn't matter. The point is, what we need to do here is, he wants to say that every time this order ID, we would like to go and look up here in this sales order, and if it is there, wherever it is there, all the row numbers are supposed to be captured, and they are going to be pasted in the sheet 2 one by one. So then the next time, what should happen? The next time it should go to the next order ID 88, and it should go and pick up that order ID here, and all the row numbers where we have the sales order as 88, it's going to pick up those row numbers and going to paste it in the sheet 2. So basically it's the compilation we are going to do basis the conditions, right? The conditions on the order ID, right? So this let me just do one thing. I just want to add this, copy this. This is actually the sales order ID, which I just deleted it. I was doing some testing. So now in this case, what is the current approach? Let me tell you before we go further. Now as I said in this video, guys, we're going to use the advanced filter, and we're going to use the macro as well, right? We're going to talk about the loops. Now if you do not have any information about the loops, you should go and watch Excel VBA loops, where I think we have got 10 or 12 videos. Start watching the videos as the the sequence. When you click on this, you need to follow the same sequence in which you see the videos there, and there are the the first initial videos are the basic, and then intermediate, and then super advanced stuff you will get there, right? So we are going to the plan is we are going to run a loop which is going to start from 2 and 6. So I'm going to use the for next loop which starts from 2 to 6. Okay, and of course if you have more entries, then you can change that 6 to whatever it is. The important point is that what will you do here, how are you going to make sure that we should have the data pasted, we should have the data basis these sales orders, right? Now if you're thinking that we're just going to actually use the the filter, then of course that option is there, but I'm not going to use the simple filter that if you think that I just put the filter here and I'm going to pick up this item and then copy the data and paste it here. Instead of that, what we will do is we will simply use the advanced filter, right? Now what is the advanced filter? Now in the advanced filter, I have actually got very good videos on the advanced filter. You can see that you can watch this Excel advanced filter and format cell series where I talked about the advanced filter. Advanced filter basically is to make broadly we use it to do the two things. One is to capture the unique items, and the second is to pull the data if it is duplicate. In this case we are going to pull the data which is duplicate in the sense that whatever the sales order we have. Now in the advanced filter, let me tell you one thing, how you use the advanced filter. For the advanced filter, you have to copy this header and you got to paste it in any column, right? Make sure the spelling should same, because if your spellings are not going to be same, you're not going to make the use of the advanced filter. Advanced filter is not going to work for you. So your spelling should be same, your header should be same, and the header has to be the same one which is going to be filtered at. And as you know that we want to pick up the sales order ID, so that's why I've written the sales order ID, right? Now in this particular case, what I'm going to do is, just to demonstrate you, I'm simply going to write this 198 and 851. So let me just write here 198 851. Now this is the way you write the criteria in the advanced filter. You write the header name and then you have to write what you want to search, right? Now how to use it, so you simply go to the the data, and in the data you click on the advanced filter. When you click on the advanced filter, you get to see here two options: filter the list, copy to another location. Copy to another location comes handy when you want to copy this data and want to paste it somewhere else, but we don't want that option, so I'm not here to talk about that. I just keep the by default option, which is filter the list in place. Filter the list in the place means that select the filter the data over here, right over here. Now if you look at this data, my intelligence, my advanced filter Excel intelligence is so strong that it's by default picked up all the table. List range means the table, right? I have written here, in fact I have not, the Excel automatically chosen this A1 colon M18, and that I have the data till 18th row, right? So if you have a more data, the data will be automatically be selected, and just in case if you don't have the data getting selected, you can manually also set it up. That's okay. Now what is the important thing, the important thing is that I have selected the criteria range here. This is my criteria range, right? So because now how this is coming by default, because I was trying to make this before recording the video, so that's why it captured it. But otherwise what you need to do is you need to select the in this way, you need to select this table in this way, and your criteria would come here, right? Now why I'm getting here criteria, it's because why I'm not getting here O1 to O2, because I actually have defined this criteria in the name manager, right? If you do not know anything about the name manager, then let me do one thing for you. First of all, this is the criteria which I have created. Actually this is the name manager, that's why when I select this when I select this range, this comes as criteria. So if you just do not have created this, for example, if I just go to the name manager, and in the name manager I just delete this, and there we go. Now when you're going to again use this advanced filter, so if I just go to the data and I click on the advanced filter, then guys here when I'm going to select that, this is going to come as purely cell referencing, which is O1 to O2. That's it. Now you don't have to click on the unique record, because if you click on the unique record, what happens, it's actually going to not show all the rows, it's going to show only the unique records, but we need all the records. So I just do not touch this, and I'm just going to click OK, and look at this guys. Now this is the basically the table which you want to copy and you want to paste in the sheet 2. right? Now before I record this macro, I can also write directly the VBA, but you can also record the macro. That would be the quickest way. Once you have pasted the data, you want to come back here and you want to unfilter this data. So for that I'm going to use the Alt DFS. Alt DFS is going to actually show all the data, right? So this is the shortcut key, just in case if you don't understand, this is the shortcut key I'm talking about. Alt DFS to show all the data. Basically Alt DFS we use to come out of the filters, right? Whenever we use the filters, and in the advanced filter all the rows get hidden, so that's how you have all that data which is hidden. You want it to you want that data to be back. Now what is the next thing I want to do here? Now before I record the macro, I also want to show you one challenge which I observed. Now for those cases where we don't have this order ID as 88, for example in your macro, when the first time this sales order ID is going to be captured, which is this, in the next time this 88 would come here. So when you have this 88 here, and if you use the same advanced filter, because we don't have the sales order 88 in this entire data, so when you press OK, what happens, this is not going to pick up any data. So in that case, if you're just going to use the shortcut keys, like how will you capture the entire data? Control Shift right arrow or down arrow. I think this is the option most of the time people use. In that case, this entire row will be copied, and if it is going to copy this much of the data, that means you're almost going to copy the 1 million rows. And here when you're going to paste it, it's going to take time, and also it may happen that you will not have enough number of rows, because in the previous advanced filters, in the previous criteria, your data would already have taken some space. So that if I have to paste 1 million rows, I need those 1 million rows in the another sheet as well. And if it is not going to be there, your Excel will not be able to paste the data and you will get the error, right? So in order to do that, I have thought a solution, which is we will go in the A1 million cell and we are going to use the control up arrow. If my control up arrow takes me to the row number 1, that means there is no need to copy the data because there is no data there. If it is not the row number 1, then we would go and copy the data, right? If it is making sense, you are awesome. If it is not making sense, just stick to it, because right now I'm going to record the macro. I'm going to show everything in front of you, and that's going to make a lot of sense, right? So let's start the first thing, guys. So the first thing which I'm going to do is I'm simply going to record the macro and this advanced filter. So I go here in the record macro and I say that macro 2, let's say I record this as macro 2, and now I just go to the data, I click on the advanced, and all these values, whatever it is there, I just press OK, and now that's it. We don't need anything. So I just go and stop the recording. And once I have stopped the recording, one more step I should have recorded, that how to come out of this filter using the Alt DFS. So let me quickly record this macro as well. Macro 3, click OK, and now I'm going to press Alt DFS. The data is back, guys, so I stopped the recording. Right now let's quickly go to the Visual Basic and let me check that code. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the module. I think this is the module. You can see that active sheet show all data. This is the basically key which I used, Alt D and F and S. So this is what we are going to combine. Right now I'm just going to actually cut this and I'm going to put it here after the advanced filter, and we don't need the macro 3. Now what is the another thing I want? So the another thing I want is that I want to make sure that I should be on the correct sheet. So in your case, your sheet name is week detail. So let's just go here and write sheets and then sheet, the week details. So we should be on the the sheet. What is the next thing we would like to do? The next thing we would like to do is I want to actually run the loop. Okay, so how many times you want to run the loop? So let's say we say that for j equals to 2 to in this case I'm going to run it 6 times, right? So 2 to 6. Okay, so I write here 2 to 6, and then you're going to put this in the loop. So we write here next j. Okay, now the important thing, when this loop is going to work, you have to make sure that this value, the row number 2 value, should be pasted here in this O2. which is from the week details sheet. So how you're going to write it? You're going to say that the sheet week detail dot range O2 dot value should be equals to my sheets the web, and there we need this value from the A2, but I'm not going to write here A2, remember that, because my 2 is going to change every time. So I'm simply going to concatenate it with J, because when you concatenate it with J is going to start with 2, so you will have the value called A2, which means that this value is going to be there, then A3, and then A4, and then A5, and so on, right? That's how the whole idea is, right? So this is going to be, this is going to filter the data. Once you have the filter the data, now if you see that in this advanced filter, what we are saying that range A1 to M18, put the advanced filter, and then the action has to be Excel filter in place, which I showed you, and the criteria range is range A01 to O2. How simple it is to write in the VBA. You don't have to record the macro, right? You can also simply write it. So once it is done, then I just put the criteria here, guys, which is that if the row number which is from range, let's say 8 and 1000, because I know my data is not so big, and Excel up dot row, if this is going to be equals to, if this is not going to be equals to 1, then what we need to do, then we have to copy the data. So from the range A1, I'm just going to write here A1. What we need to do is we need to use Control Shift right arrow. Control Shift right arrow is going to take the entire data, is going to select the entire data. So we're going to write here that from the range A1, then this is how we write. We can write selection and then comma selection dot end Excel to right dot select, right? That's how it is. And then the same line you have to write, because you need to go down. I really can't believe it that I have remembered this long syntax, because it's a little difficult, so I always prefer recording the macro. But I think because I am doing a lot of VBA, so that's how it simply comes in my mind, right? Otherwise it's not, I think, that big task. It's just that when you have the experience, you don't have to remember these syntaxes. So now Excel down, that's how the line is, and then you're going to copy the data, selection dot copy. Now I want to tell you one more very interesting thing, guys. You know what, you can copy the data, you can copy the data, but let's say if I just put here, let's say this sales order, let me just copy this and paste it here. Okay, now let's use this the advanced filter. So I'm just going to say what I'm going to click on the data, and I say that advanced filter. Again, I'm repeating the same step. You see that this is how it is. Now when I say Control Shift right arrow and the down arrow, I can copy this data, and I'm going to actually paste it here. Let's say I paste it here as paste special value Alt ES V. The moment you paste this data, how many rows we have pasted? 1 2 3 4 5. So we have all the rows 1 2 3 4 5, right? This is the first, the normal method. You can also do one thing. You can also use the shortcut key, which is Alt colon. Let me show you that, since I'm discussing that. Though I talked about this in my recent videos in the shortcut keys, I think I have noted down somewhere here. This is the shortcut key, Alt colon. This is to copy the visible cells. If you ever have a situation where you just want to copy only the the visible cells, not all the cells, then that way you can actually use the Alt and colon, right? That is going to select only the visible cells. Remember that. So anyways, that I just wanted to tell you, but remember, this is advanced filter, right? So it's not about the advanced filter. Generally, if you have hidden the rows, I'm not talking about these hidden rows, I'm talking about otherwise, when you right click and you hide the rows. So there, if you try to copy the data, it is going to paste it. All the hidden rows are are also going to be pasted. So in that case, if you just want to paste the visible cells, you can use the Alt, the colon. So anyways, I think that's fine with us. So now we want to copy this data and we want to paste it here, right? This is what actually I was talking about. So let me just use the Alt Fs, and so we are going to use here this selection.copy, so that we have the data copied, and then we're going to actually go in the sheets 2. So I write here sheet 2. When you write the sheet 2 dot select, what we're going to do is we're going to actually find the the blank cell. So I'm going to simply write 10,000 from the 10,000 and Excel app dot offset me by 1 row and 0 column. So what this is going to do, this is going to take you to the next cell. Right now, in the first attempt it may look not so wise step, because why would I like to start from the A2, but the next time when you have the data pasted, let's say till 12th row, the next time you want to paste it on the 13th row. So this is a line which is very important, right? And then in the active cell, whatever the active cell we will have, we're going to paste that, paste special. You can use paste all or whatever you want to use, paste value, that's all up to you. I just use, let's say, the paste all. Okay, once you use the paste all, then after pasting the data, you got to come back on your sheet, which is this week detail. So I just go and copy that, close the bracket, dot select, and then we will use the active sheet show all data. That's it. And then the next time the code will go and it's going to work with the J. Right now, just in case if the row number is not 1, then you're doing all this process. But if the row number is 1, which is this, if it is going to give you the row number 1, then basically you don't have to do anything. So you write here else and if. Okay, this is what we would like to do. And yes, if it goes in the else and if, then before it goes in the end if of the else part, it should again use the active sheet dot show all data, because your data will be at that point in time hidden, so you want that data back, right? So I think this is how we can go and start working on this code. And let me just declare the variable j as long, guys. And now I think we are good to go with this, and let me just go and run this. Let's see now. So I just resize this window. We can see that, right, what's happening here. So let's run this, and I'm just going to delete that, by the way. Okay, so let's go and run this. So there we go. Now you see that the j is going to be 2 here. Okay, so if the j is 2, then this value which we're going to capture this from A2, which belongs to the sheet web, that is going to be printed in the O2 over here. So when I run this, let me see that. You see that, guys, we got that. Now the advanced filter is going to work, and you see in the background the data is filtered. Now we're going to put the logic. You know that this range a10,000 dot end Excel row, this is going to return me 18, because the last row is 18, so it is not equals to 1. So what happens, it goes in the then mode, and from the A1 it's going to select the entire data. You see this Excel to right is control shift right arrow, and this end Excel down is control down arrow, as I stated before. This is going to be copied, and I go in the sheet 2, and now from A10,000 it's gonna move control up, and from the control up, which is from A1, it's going to move 1 row down, and here now we're going to have the data pasted. So it is going to paste all the data. Wonderful. Now we go back to the week detail, and here active sheet show all data, and you see that I'm back on the data, guys, right? So this step again is going to be followed. Now next j, what is the next j? Let's see that the moment I run this, this is j is going to be 3. So in the A3 of sheet web, I have a different value. I think it's 88, if you remember. Look at this, guys, 88. Now this would be very interesting, because 88 is not there, and you don't have the data there, guys. Now if you don't have the data, when you use the control up arrow from the A10,000, you're gonna see 1, and this is the condition, that if it is equals to, if it is not equals to 1, then do all this, otherwise go in the else mode. And this is what I needed it. In the else, again I have active sheet dot show all data, and this is how it is. Active sheet dot show all data. If you remember, this line is generated by the macro when I pressed Alt D F S to come out of that advanced filter, right? So again, now the next j is going to come. Now the j is changed. So you can see this is the criteria. I'm not sure if we have this sales order. Let's see. Okay, we have it. So again, it's going to paste the data, and this is how your macro is going to work. Now this is going to take you to the last filled value. If I run this, see that the cursor is on the 7th row. Makes sense, right? The data is going to be pasted, and now I'm back. Active sheet show all data, and now the turn for the next criteria. The next criteria is again going to be something which is 215244. You can see here, and it's going to be pasted. And now we're going to paste that data here in the next blank row. So this process keeps on going in this way, guys. So let me just click on the F5. and there we go. So finally you have your all the data in the sheet 2. Now I know that this is not looking in a proper structured way, but then what you can do is you can again record the macro, or if you're a good VBA developer, you can sort of do all these stuff, things like, for example, you can delete this row. I'm going to delete this row, and then I'm just going to select everything, and I'm going to make them in a good width. And once I have made that, I will remove the color, and the important thing is I put the filter on the top, and then I'm going to select the headers, because you know that we have got the headers all over the rows. So I'm just going to select OK, and this is the last step which I would do. I don't think so we need the macro for this, it's a very small task, but otherwise there are many ways of not copying and pasting this header. I mean, that is also something which is possible. Right now the macro which I recorded, it is pasting the headers, but in your macro maybe you can do it in a different way, right? You can just have this header pasted before you start your macro, and the rest of the data should come from the next row. I mean, there are a number of ways of doing it, but I think the most important part was how beautifully we have combined the if function and the for loop with the advanced filter. Advanced filter is very important, guys, right? So I hope, Naveen, this is going to benefit you, and this is going to benefit to all my lovely people out there who are watching my videos, who are subscribing day by day and showing their confidence on my channel, on my all the videos. And thank you so much, because I have seen tremendous amount of increase in the number of the comments you are giving there. The in fact from the subscriber numbers to the your liking the videos, everything is fantastic. It's going phenomenal, and this is giving me really a lot of energy. I'm just nothing without you guys, without your support, trust me on that, right? So that's it, with an ambition to make everybody programmer. I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk something exciting next time again, right? So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a fantastic learning, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.